So when I say, lacking all humility and modesty, I have the gift of words, a master of words, in fact. And okay, I might be a master of logic. But that's not the bit that counts. What counts is the words, more like the poet, speak to the heart. There's something about the rhythm, the hesitation. Look at the way the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam is written. The first two lines rhyme, the third line doesn't, and the fourth comes crashing down, rhyming again. There's a finality about it. It impresses upon the feeling of something. It's not the logic or the analysis. You are transported by a certain environment that the words create. I come on stage, I'm full of energy and smiling and happy and relating and teasing. That's quite different to the person who comes on, opens his notes and says, "Good morning. My talk this morning," and so it goes on, and you think, oh, I wonder how long that's going to take. You see, we're human. We're not a computer. We're not a robot. We're human. We actually don't have as many textbooks in our libraries as we have fiction. I masterfully conquered this. I wouldn't let fiction come into my library. I say library, the few shelves of books that I had. There was hardly a fiction book amongst it. I felt that Omar Khayyam was getting close to it. And I'm not sure how far back you have to go, but I didn't have a Bible sitting there either, or any other religious book as I understood it, although I think the Rubaiyat might be more religious than one supposes. Certainly Paramahansa thought so. Spent 2 volumes. Did he spend? I don't know. He did do some study on it. An orator is not relying on logic and reason. It's much more like, Mark Antony in Julius Caesar. Ingratitude more strong than traitors' arms quite vanquished him, and Caesar muffling up his face, even unto the base of Pompey's statuae, quite fell. Then bloody treason flourished over us. He's whipping up the crowd, isn't he? He's a politician. Presumably Hitler, from what we see of it, was an absolute master of words and environment. They were worshipping him. Frightening. Spiritual terms, one sees it as satanically frightening. Nothing to do with pure reason, logic, rationality. Entirely emotive, appealing to the inner needs and desires of the persons listening. Ignited a world war and mayhem on a colossal scale. We might arrogantly say, appealing, that it appeals to the baser elements of man's nature, fallen nature if you're of Christian persuasion. I venture not so. But appealing to the needs, creativity, expansion, expression, patriotism, which, as I've said elsewhere, easily becomes racism, I think. Expansion, the need for resources, which easily becomes exploiting others, stealing from them, in fact. In fact, just ruthlessly killing them if they're in the way. Look, Marshall, don't dwell on the evil. This is not going to be good. Right. Enough said. This understanding can be used to good or evil purpose. And people will, accordingly, to the intention of the heart. So really it's not rationality that I fear. Things that can be of the heart, malevolence, revenge, and so on, instead of compassion and kindness and love. You may bump me over the wall, as in Pilgrim's Progress, some other way, and end up in the way. But you'll only be in the way of others unless your heart is in the right place. And I don't mean transformed. I'm not assuming that, you're utterly depraved and have to be rescued into perfectness. I'm saying we suffer from ignorance. It's not an ignorance of understanding. It's an ignorance of experience. Except you receive the kingdom of heaven as a little child, you cannot enter therein. We understand Jesus as written to have said. Choose your company well, your media well, your environment well, your thoughts well. Who you mix with, what you talk about, what you let the mind dwell on. Choose well. You will do well. Because your very self and being, your heart, will respond in harmony accordingly. You will be tuned by your choice. Your choice. Choose you this day whom you will serve. May you be blessed in your decision. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.